All right, so we're picking up the Gemara. So again, we had said a story, and now we're going to go a little bit into the details of the story and what that meant. So Gemara says, Gufa, Rav Ikla above Elbatan to see what Rav went to, and remember the story that they brought down was because we were trying to figure out how many aliyahs do you make on a fast day? Do you do 3 or do you 4? So the Gemara says, it repeats the story. It says that he went down to Bavel on a fast day. Kam krab Sifra, and he went up to read it from the Sefer Torah. Pasam Baruch, Chasam V'lo Baruch. When he got up there, so he made a bracha, and then when he finished, he did not make a bracha. Nafal kuli alma an piryu. Everyone else fell down on their faces to do tachanun. Avravlo nafal al an pei, and he did not fall down on his face. So that was the story that we said. So now what does it mean? So my time Avravlo nafal al pei. Why is it that Rav did not fall down on his face when he was doing tachanun? So my answer is ritzvah shalavanim hais, because it was a stone floor, and we learned v'tanya ve'evim mashchis lo sitnu ba'artzachem l'shachavos oled. You should not put a stone covering in place which is in your land, to bow down on it. So therefore, so we learn from there that you don't bow down if you're on a stone floor when you're outside of the Beis Hamikdash, but in the Beis Hamikdash itself, then you could bow down on the stone floor. Damar Ula, Kidula, Damar Ula, Lo Asur Torah al Ritzvah Shalavan Bovad, that the Torah only answered the Ritzvah of a floor of stone. So the Gemara says, if it's talking about that he had a stone floor in front of him, so Ihachi, Ma'ir, your Rav, why is it that Rav did not bow down? Afilu Kulunami, everyone else also shouldn't have been bowing down on the stone floor. Why were they bowing down on the stone floor? My answer is Kami de Rav Havya, because it was not a full wood stone floor, it was a stone floor just in front of him. So Gemara says, so if there was a stone floor that was right in front of him and it wasn't in front of everyone else, so let him shift over 2 feet and let him go do Nefilas Chaim. Let him do that, where everyone else is doing it. My answer is, Lo by Lemitrach Tzibura, he did not want to inconvenience everyone, because if Rav would have stood up and started moving over, then it would have been Matriach, the whole tzibur, because they all would have stood up for him. I remember when I came to Ner Yisrael, my first year in Ner Yisrael, and Rav Ruderman, when he would walk into the Beis Medrash, because I came from Telz, and in Telz, when a Rosh Hashiva walked into the Beis Medrash, so he did like this, like a little shift up, right? In Ner Yisrael, when Rav Ruderman walked into the Beis Medrash, the entire Beis Medrash would stand up and would be quiet until he got to his seat. It was just like, it was mind-blowing. It was really something to see when you saw it. So Rav did not want to interrupt, he did not want people to have to get up to inconvenience them when he was going to be going over somewhere, so therefore he didn't do it. Another reason why he didn't do it is because Rav Pisha Yadayim Raglaim Hava, because Rav he wasn't just doing the Nefilas Chaim, he was actually putting out his hands and his feet when he was prostrating on the ground. That the only type of bowing that you cannot do on a stone floor is if you do it bowing down, where you're going to have your hands and your feet that are going to be extended in full direction. But if you don't have that, then you are able to do Nefilas Chaim. So Gemara says, so if that's the case, so let him just not do the full extension of the hands and the feet. Let him do what everyone else is doing, and then he'd be able to do Nefilas Chaim. So my answer is Lo Mishani Minhage. He did not want to change his minhag, because he had a minhag of how he would do it, and he did not want to change from his minhag. So therefore, he did not change anything. The Gemara says, another answer, Adam Chashiv Shani that when you have when you have an Adam Chashiv, when you have an important person, it's going to be a bit different. It's like Rebbe Lazar said, Rebbe Lazar, Ein Adam Chashiv Rasha Lipol Apanav Ela Im Kainana, that a person is not able to fall down on his face, unless he knows for sure that when he falls down on his face, that his tefillos are going to be answered. And where do we learn that from? Ki Yeshua ben Nun, like Yeshua ben Nun. D'chsiv Yom Hashem Yoshua Kum Lech, that he says after Yeshua had fallen down on his face, Hashem said to him, get up and go, because he was granting him what it was that he wanted. So therefore, only in that situation could you do it, but Hashem was saying to Yeshua that you should not have done it. And that's where we learned that the only time you should do it is if you know your tefillah is going to be answered. And Rav didn't know that his tefillah was going to be answered, so he didn't fall on his face when he was doing it. So now the Gemara is just going to go through now and explain different types of bowing that we have when it comes to avoda, and what does it mean? The Gemara says Tan Rabbanon Kida alapayim, that when it says kida, when it uses the term kida to describe the bowing, it means that they're going down on their faces. Shenemar vatikod basheva apayim eretz, that Basheva bowed down her face to the ground, so that's kida. Kriya al berkayim, when it says kriya is on your knees. Vanachtu korum mishtachim, what you do on Yom Kippur. So that's when you're bowing down on your knees. V'cheinu omer mikra al birkav, and it says in the pasuk that he was kneeling on his knees. Yishtachava zu pishi yadayim raglayim. That's when it says yishtachava. That's what we're talking about, where he fully extends his hands and his feet. Shneimar havon avon ivimcha be'achacha lishtachava sucha arza. That Yaakov Avinu was telling Yosef when he was telling over his dreams. He said, "Are me and your mother? Are we going to be bowing down to you? Are we going to be prostrating on the grounds?" Which was talking about a full extension. And Levi achve kita kamed rav ve'itla. Levi showed how you do this kita, how he would bow down, which would and he became blamed from it. And apparently, what it meant was that they would stand up. They would touch the ground they would balance on their fingers, and they would touch their face to the ground. Which I don't know how they did that. It was like some sort of acrobatic. I don't know how they did it. So, but he tried doing it, and I guess he became lame from it because I think his hip got dislocated when he tried doing it. So he became lame. So when I asked, "V'haka garmilei, v'haka garmilei," you're going to say that that's what caused Levi to come lame, that he bowed down like that, and that's how he did it. A person should not say anything complaining to Hashem. Shahari Adam Gadol hitiach dvaram klapi ma'alav itla, because a great person complained to Hashem, and he became lame because of it. Umanu Levi, and that was Levi. So you see that Levi became lame because he'd been complaining in front of to Hashem when he would ask for rain, and rain didn't fall. And Levi says, Mar brings on the story that Levi had asked for rain, and he says to Hashem, "Oh Hashem, you don't care about us because you're up there and we're down here." So apparently that on Levi, on his level, that was the wrong thing to do, and he became lame because of that. So our answer is Hava HaGarmale, that both. It was both the fact that he spoke in a way to Hashem where he was complaining, and also that he demonstrated this kida, that also caused him, that both of them together caused him to become lame. Amar Abchia Baravin, Chazina Leila Abaya, turning to Chav Gimel Amar Aleph, V'Rava D'Matzli Atzlui, that I saw that they would lean on their sides when they would do Nefilas HaPayim. They didn't fall on their faces, they would do to the side. And nowadays, when we do Nefilas HaPayim, so we put our arm up there, so that's for sure not a problem at all. Okay, the Mishnah continues. B'Yom Tov Chamisha, B'Yom Kippurim Shisha. We're going to the different types of aliyahs. They say that on Yom Tov, you call 5 people up for an aliyah, and on Yom Kippur you do 6. So Masnei Simani, who's our Mishnah going like? Lo Rabbi Shmuel, lo Rabbi Kiva. It's not going like either Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Kiva. The Tani that we learned in the Brisa, B'Yom Tov Chamisha, B'Yom Kippurim Shisha, V'Shabbos Shiva. That on Yom Tov you do 5, Yom Kippur 6, and Shabbos is 7. Ein poslim ehen ve'ein mosifin aleihem. So again, this is different than our Mishnah. You don't do less than that, and you don't add on to it either. So this one now we're going to, which is not what our Mishnah says. So now we're going to see that it can't be Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Kiva. Div Rabbi Shmuel. So that's what Rabbi Shmuel says. Rabbi Kiva Omer B'Yom Tov Chamisha of Yom Kippurim Shiva. Yom Kippur you do 7, which is different because again we do 6. Uv Shabbos Shisha, and on Shabbos you do 6. So the Gemara says, and a posum ahead, I won't see if an He says that you don't do less than that, but you could add on to there. So Gemara says, money, who's our Mishnah going like now? Rabbi Shmuel, if it's going like Rabbi Shmuel, Kasha Tosefes, and the question regarding Tosefes, because Rabbi Shmuel says that, because Rabbi Shmuel says that, they're not adding, and here you're saying, and the Mishnah said you could add. And in Rabbi Kiva, Kasha Shisha V'Sheva, because there's a problem with the numbers that you have of who's being called up for which aliyah. So my answer is Amarava Tanai de Rabbi Shmuel. It's a Tanaim de Rabbi Shmuel, the Tanai de Rabbi Shmuel. B'Yom Tov Chamisha, B'Yom Kippurim Shisha, V'Shabbos Shiva, which goes like what our Mishnah said. Ein Posem Hen Avam Musif on a land de Rabbi Shmuel. So you see that Tanai de Rabbi Shmuel learned in Rabbi Shmuel how you could do it that it goes like what our Mishnah was saying. So Gemara asks, Kasha Rabbi Shmuel, but if so, we have a Kasha Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Shmuel, because over here in the Brisa, we said that Rabbi Shmuel says that you can't add on, and over here in the Mishnah, we say that you could add on. So Gemara answers, Trei Tanai Rabbi Shmuel, as the Gemara very often does. It says, there are 2 different Tanaim that learned it. One student remembered hearing it one way, the other one remembered hearing it the other way, and that's how they did it. Gemara says further, Man Tana Lahadatanya. Yom Tov Ma'achron Lavo Mahar Milatze said on Yom Tov you come later to shul, and but you're very quick to leave. The reason why you come later to shul is because on Yom Tov you're able to cook. So a person is supposed to stay in his house in the morning and help out his wife getting the meal ready for Yom Tiv. Then he goes to shul, but we leave quickly from shul because we want to be able to enjoy the festivities of Yom Tiv. Yom Kippurim, on Yom Kippur, we come very quickly to shul because there's no meal that we're preparing on Yom Kippur, and we leave very late because we're not in a rush to get home for anything. With Shabbos, and on Shabbos, we are quick to come to shul in the morning because you can't make the meal. The meal had to have been made already erev Shabbos to do the cooking, and but we leave quickly for the same reason as Yom Tiv because we want to be able to enjoy the meal. So, but you see from here. So who is it that says? So which time is that says that you're able to stay longer in shul on Yom Kippur? That you stay in shul longer on Yom Kippur than you do on Shabbos. Lemer Rabbi Kiva, the Islay Gavra, the Yisera. So let's say it's Rabbi Kiva, who we just learned in the Brisa before. That Rabbi Kiva said that Yom Kippur you do 7 aliyahs and on Shabbos you only do 6 aliyahs. So let's say it's going like him. So the answer is no. I feel it to Rabbi Shmuel. Could even going like Rabbi Shmuel. The Nafish Sidura the Yoma, because Yom Kippur it's without having any aliyah. Even if you have 6 aliyahs, there are plenty of there's a lot of davening that's going on. So you're going to be in shul for a very, very long time. So that's why we say that you are that ma'achrin latzei, that you leave later because you're just the tefillos themselves are very voluminous and you're going to be staying in shul longer. So Gemara asks now, Hani shlosha chamisha v'shiva kenegami. We said that for Monday and Thursdays and Shabbos you're supposed to read 3 and 5 and 7 for Shabbos morning. So who is that corresponding to? Who do we say that's like? When it says, Pliga Rav Yitzchak bar Nachmani v'chad ime. So it was Rav Yitzchak bar Nachmani, and someone else argued with him. Umanu Rav Shimon ben Pazi, V'amri Rav Shimon ben Pazi v'chad ime. Umanu Rav Yitzchak bar Nachmani. Some say it was Shimon ben Pazi, and it was Rav Yitzchak bar Nachmani. And they say like this. I'm sorry. V'amri Rav Shmuel bar Nachmani. Chad Amar Keneged Birchas Kohanim. That one says that the 3 is Keneged the Birchas Kohanim because there's 3. It's Yevarechacha Hashem v'Yishmerecha is 3. Yair Hashem Panav Elecha v'Yichuneka is 5. Isa Hashem Panav Elecha v'Yasem L'cha Shalom. That's going to be 7. V'chad Amar Keneged Shlosh Shomrei Asaf. That is Keneged they had these 3 guardians that were by the Beis Hamikdash, so they had the keys for people to get in. So that's his Keneged. Chamisha Morei Pnei HaMelech, and the 5 is Keneged, the attendants that would see the king. And Shiva Roi Pnei HaMelech, which is also those like his advisors, like Achashverosh had. Tanei Rab Yosef, Shlosha Chamisha V'Shiva, Shlomo Shomrei Hasaf, Chamisha Morei Pnei HaMelech, Shiva Roi Pnei HaMelech, and that's also like we just said. Amalei Abai said, I didn't know my time a little partial man. Why didn't you explain it to me until now like that? Amalei, Lohav Yadana, I didn't know that you didn't know the explanation for what it was. And did you ever ask me something and I didn't tell you? So you should have asked me and I would have told you. Okay, we will stop here.